Welcome to Global Rhythms Live, World Music and Dance Digital Concert Series presented by Ensemble Topaz.
Hi everyone! It's with great joy that we welcome you to the 13th edition of Global Rhythms Live World Music and Dance Digital Concert. I'm Paromita, co-artistic director and choreographer of Ensemble Topaz, a Toronto-based integrated music and dance ensemble, and it's my great joy and honor, along with Mike Anklewitz, to present to you this week's edition of Global Rhythms Live. This week, we're delighted and honored to feature wonderful musicians and dancers based in Toronto and performing a number of world music and dance styles. Joining me in the studio is Mike Anklewitz, musician, composer, and music director for Ensemble Topaz, as well as several other music projects, and also faculty member at Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto. He's also our managing technical director for Global Rhythms Live.
Thank you so much for joining us today. To us, in many ways, this concert series has been able to keep alive our tradition as performing artists of the live art forms. The ability to perform to an audience, which is so often a part of our everyday lives, that's all gone away because of COVID. And, at this point, we're still not sure when that's coming back. So we started this series to be able to continue to perform and offer the ability for other artists to perform, as well as find out a little bit more about their stories and their journeys through the world of music and dance. So if you would like to support these artists, please visit the website you see above Paromita's head. That's our GoFundMe campaign, and you can please donate anything, please, from $5 to $25, and really help support these artists who are performing for you today. And you can also find these links at our Facebook page and the YouTube event. Your support helps keep everybody going at this time. Additionally, if you are joining us on Facebook and you are seeing captions at the bottom of your screen, you can turn those off. Just go into the video settings, either in the video itself or in your own settings, your personal settings for videos. You can turn the default captions off. They're a wonderful opportunity for anyone who needs the accessibility, but sometimes they can be intrusive in some of the videos that you're going to see.
And also, if sometimes a song is in a different language, I think it goes by the sound of it, so it's not necessarily an accurate translation. So just wanted to let you know about that as well.
Absolutely. And so with that, we'd love to introduce our first performer, Maredza. Tichaona Daniel Maredza is popularly known as Teach. He is an award-winning Zimbabwean singer, multi-instrumentalist, and composer whose music, while rooted in traditional styles of Zimbabwe, has a contemporary flair. His compositions have rhythmic drive, melodic intelligence, and lyrical messages of challenge and hope based on his experiences not only as a musician but also as an immigrant. Teach left Zimbabwe for North America in 2006 and settled first in the United States before moving to Canada. Teach Maredza has appeared at festivals across Canada, including Afrofest, TD Jazz Festival, Habari Africa, Small World Music Festival, as well as accompanying other visiting stars like Zimbabwean legends Thomas Mafuno and the great Oliver Mtukudzi. He is the bandleader of the Teach Maredza Band, a five-piece band based in Toronto, Ontario, which he formed in 2009. The band has completed a 2018 successful summer residency at the Lula Lounge. He's also a member of the prestigious Juno Award-winning World Music Album of the Year in 2017, Okavango African Orchestra, a group made up of artists from different regions of Africa now living in Canada. With this orchestra, Teach has performed before sold-out crowds at some of Canada's biggest stages, like Kerner Hall, and he also performs on his solo acoustic guitar or mbira at traditional Zimbabwean instrument. Here is Teach.
Bandima Thank you.
That was Teach Maredza with that amazing song. Teach, can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah, so this song is called Tiripandima, which, well, loosely translated into English, it means we are in the field. So Tiripandima is a Shona word, which is the language that I speak. I speak a language called Shona, Shona. That's one of the main languages in Zimbabwe, where I am originally from. So this song is talking about my uh, that I'm an immigrant who left my country for many different reasons, be it political, economic, to go to a faraway country, a faraway place to work for my family. So this is a song that I was singing about everyone who is in my situation, like, because there's a lot of us immigrants who left their countries to go and work for their families or even to look for an education. So in this song, I was just saying, was appealing for people in that situation to stay focused and to say, God help us stay focused so that we do not engage in illegal activities or things that could embarrass our families back home, because we want to make them proud.
That's
So
it's a beautiful message. And can you tell us about your immigration process and how you felt coming to a country like Canada? Obviously, culturally probably very different, climate very different than Zimbabwe. What can you tell us about that and what it meant for you to come here to Canada to move your life here?
So what happened is my initial destination when I left my country, that in 2006, was the United States of America. So I lived in Washington State for about 2 years. I was working there. I was doing a little bit of music, but initially I was working there as a youth worker, actually, at for the Salvation Army. So yeah, so when I initially left my country, I went to the United States. But then when I was in the United States, it came a time when, because I just wanted a limited contract to work there, so I had to renew my paperwork. But so a decision was made that I would have to go back to my country. But by that time, the political situation back home had made it difficult, made it impossible for me to go back at the time. So I ended up coming here to Canada, and the initially the idea was to stay here temporarily whilst I'm sorting out my paperwork in the United States. But then I came here, sought asylum here. Then eventually I was getting settled. I actually began to realize that I love uh, Canada. This is a place that I would want to settle, because I I came to Toronto and I realized that Toronto was a very diverse city, and the people were culturally accepting. And also, me being a musician, having been performing here and there, it didn't take a long time for me to network with musicians and to eventually get back into performing music again. So everything just fell in place for me here in Toronto. The diversity and the people were really nice and very welcoming, and so I just decided to stay here and make this my second home. And up to now, I'm really happy, living in Canada in Toronto. So I'm now a Canadian citizen too. So I'm happy being in Canada, and I'm happy to be a Zimbabwean Canadian.
Well, we're very happy
Happy
that
to
you're
have
here.
you here.
Um,
Thank you.
so, can you tell us a little bit about your musical journey? How you got into music And what made you want to make it such a big part of your life?
I was born into music, I should say so, really, because on my mom, my mother's side, like all my uncles and my mother's side were at one point or another musicians at different levels. Some of them will just play music for fun, but I have one uncle still who was active until a few years ago when he fell sick, but he was very actively involved in music back home. So my mom's side, there's some music in the blood, in the family. So I was just born into that family. However, uh, I started playing and performing when I was at a very young age, primary school going age, which is it's junior school year, right? Yeah. So I got incorporated into the school's traditional dance group as a hand drummer. And the way that happened was very funny because my school teacher, my class teacher back then, I used to like banging on the desks whenever the teacher is out, and I would always get into trouble for that because sometimes I would be spanked by the teacher for making noise banging on the. So there came a time at school when we had to go for these clubs or electives, because there are different electives or clubs where you would go for extracurricular activities. So some would go for traditional dance, some would go for public speaking, some would go for drama, all kinds of things. So I went to the traditional dance, and it happened that my class teacher is the one who was leading that group. And so as soon as I got there, she said, I've seen that kid playing on the desk. I know that he's good at playing hand drums. So you're going to be one of the drummers. So that's how I started. And we started performing in the school.
That's amazing. And so what can you tell us about the next song that you're going to perform? I think it's called Bako.
Yeah, so Bako it means cave in my language. So in this song, I was talking about a long time ago, during the ancient times, like our ancestors used to use caves like as shelter, right? As houses. So um, the what I was saying in this song was that when you like they used to encourage people that if you use a cave or if you find shelter in a cave, when you leave or whenever you decide to leave that cave in good shape. Make sure that you don't mess things up or leave any garbage there, so that the next people that come to use that they find it in good shape, right? If you do not do that, if you leave everything messed up, you might not be able to get back in there like the next time you want shelter, because the people might say, oh, you messed up things here, you didn't leave things in good order, or it might not be even habitable when you try to go back, right? So I used that analogy to drive a message, and my message was, as someone who had left home, we have another saying in Zimbabwe, we say, okay, we literally translate, say, be good to the people on your way up the ladder, you meet them on your way down, or be good to the people that you live with, because if you decide to go on a journey, things might be difficult there, and you have to one day go back where you came from. So if you didn't leave good relations there, it might be difficult for you to be welcomed back into the society. So I use the analogy of the cave to drive that message. That's how part of I've just told you part of my my songwriting process there.
That's great. So here is Bako.
Thank you.
And so we have one more song from you, and can you tell the audience? I know in your performance you talk about the instrument you're playing, but what can you tell us about the song itself?
The song is called, I specifically, this is a song that's based on the traditional styles of Zimbabwean music, right? And I'm playing this song on a traditional instrument, like which you will see in the video. I explain what the instrument is. And I know before this I was talking to you about another project that I'm involved with called Okavango African Orchestra. I composed this song for that project, and this song is talking about, in Africa, I've noticed some cultures here to do that, whenever you visit people, you bring a bag of gifts with you every time you visit. Families used to do that a lot in Africa. Like when you go to our rural homes to visit our families, we go with bags of gifts and stuff like that. So in this song, I was saying Africa Yauya, which means Africa is arrived, or Africa has come, or Africa is in the house, and they've brought with them a bag of gifts. And those gifts are sweet melodies from Africa. That's basically what that was.
Thank
It's a
you
beautiful
so much.
metaphor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, so my next song I'm going to play using an instrument called, I'm going to play it on an instrument called Mbira, Mbira. This is an instrument that has been part of my culture for hundreds of years, a traditional instrument in my country of Zimbabwe. So it's called Mbira, and I'm going to play a song called Africa Yauya, which simply means Africa is in the house, or Africa is arrived with a gift of sweet melodies.
Zichachema ndatika ngoma zichachema zichachema ndatika ngoma zichachema zichachema ndatika ngoma zichachema
What a beautiful performance. Thank you for that incredible, incredible experience of Songs Teach. And our heartfelt gratitude to all of our artists. And friends, please do support the work of these artists. You see the GoFundMe link on the screen, as well as on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. So with that, we move into the next performance for today. Our next performance features us at Ensemble Topaz. For today, the duo of Mike Anklewitz and myself performing traditional Rajasthani music and dance. This video has been shot on 2 locations, in the Thar Desert between India and Pakistan, at the Sam and Khuri sand dunes near Jaisalmer in Rajasthan and the oases around it, as well as in our home studio in North York, Ontario, Canada. Mike and I both had the honor of studying Rajasthani dance and music in Rajasthan under Ontario Arts Council grants, myself in 2017-2018 and Mike in 2019 and 2020. We shot some of this footage in the Thar Desert this January on one of our last days before heading back to Canada, and also some of this footage is shot in our home studio, and we feature 2 traditional Rajasthani songs. Please enjoy. so that was us with music on the traditional Algoza and myself performing traditional dance movements, shot partially in Rajasthan in India and partially here in North York, Ontario. And the songs you heard, the first one was Pundala, a very well known, very celebrated traditional Rajasthani song. And the second song, performed by Mike, is actually Homkar, which is a song, or a tune, I should say, which is used for herding the camels at sunset. And this was taught to Mike by his teacher, Thagaram Bhil, in Jaisalmer in India.
And we also want to remind everybody, please go to the GoFundMe page. You see the link just on top of Paromita's head. And you can go and please make a donation to support all of the artists today. And we're going to go to our next performance, which is the family ensemble of Ori Shalva and Company. Georgian polyphony is a millennia-old tradition, is known for its distinctive and haunting harmonies, and is recognized by UNESCO as an intangible heritage of humanity. The music boasts a variety of styles reflecting the diverse geographical and cultural makeup of the country, a mountainous region of the Caucasus in the crossroads of Europe and Asia. Over the centuries, family ensemble singing has played a significant role in keeping Georgian polyphonic singing alive. And true to its nature, Ori Shalva and Company, otherwise known as the Maharashvili family, continues this practice despite being based in Toronto, over 9,000 kilometers from the wellsprings of the tradition. True of the family singing unit, Ori Shalva started by performing mostly in private settings for family and calendrical events. Over the next years, the family found themselves in more formal performance settings and have since performed in major Toronto venues like Harbourfront Centre, but also in New York and all over Georgia. They are also making a name for themselves with their online singing workshops. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Ori Shalva.
And now we're going to travel to the other side of the country. There's many musical dialects of Georgia, and we're going to sing a dance song from Kakheti, which is also a province filled with mountains, and it's actually the province that Shalva is from. This is, by the way, Shalva Maharashvili, and this is our son, Shalva Lucas Maharashvili, and that's why we're called Ori Shalva. Ori means two, and I'm Andrea Kuzmich.
Haralali vaidavali dalalo.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali vaidavali dalalo.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali vari varalo. Ezbici gargat tamashav.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali pechisvere bzadageba.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralalo gausvi dagamousvi.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralala vitomachianuria.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali da.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralalo ezbici gargat tamashav.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralalo pechisvere bzadageba.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali da.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali gausvi da gamousvi.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralalo vitomachianuria.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali da.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali vaidavali dalalo.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralalo vaidavali dalalo.
Haralali
vari varalo. Haralali da.
Haralali
vari varalo.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we know that you're playing or singing Georgian music, and we know Bachi, you come from Georgia. And if you guys want to just tell us, your journey into performing not just Georgian music, but how this ensemble has come together.
Right. Well, I started singing Georgian music in 94 or 95, and I came to it because I was interested in exploring the voice. And I found out about a community choir here in Toronto from a Balkan singing group. Actually, it might have been through a Balkan dance group. I don't know, something like that. And then I went there for the first time in 97. And it was completely changed my life. The experience of the music and the culture, which is it can't be escaped from how you live life there, or it seemed how you lived life there. You feast and you celebrate with song all the time, and it changed my life. And so then I wished I could find a Georgian man. And, I didn't even care if it wasn't going to be a Georgian singer, but it turned out that I found one. So Bachi came with a choir in Toronto in 1999, which was exceptional because there really was no other choirs outside of Georgia at that time.
Well, to continue the conversation, my mother introduced me to Georgian folk singing at the age of 4, I believe. We didn't have TVs or phones or anything, computers that time. So one source of hearing music was the radio or at the dinner table. I started singing at the age of 4 and playing the folk instrument. She taught me how to do that. My mother, she never had that musical education. That's what she's talking about, Andrea. If you sing this kind of music, it kind of combines with your culture, where you grew up and how you grew up. And since then, in my late teens, I guess I went back singing with the others. Like Georgian folk music is 3 parts, right? You can sing alone solo songs, but mainly it's 3-part singing. Before that, I was doing classical guitar. I finished a first musical school in Rustavi, in my city where I grew up in Georgia. Then I went to pre-conservatoire school, about 3 years there. And then I came back to Rustavi, became a classical guitar teacher, age of 19. But at that time I was already strongly singing Georgian folk music. And 1999, I had a chance to come to Canada with my choir members. That's when we met Andrea and the choir that she sang in. And that was the kind of staying point for me in Canada. It really was, to see and experience how non-Georgian people were taking a Georgian culture and the love and respect they had so much that, I had to become part of them, which I did. I'm very grateful for that, for all the folks that helped me out that time. And then we got married and we had Luca, and then Luca came in naturally, I guess, singing. So he can talk about that, I guess.
Around the same time as Luca coming into the world, we formed a trio out of this choir. There was one other fellow who we sang with, and we really sang.
Yeah, Trio Zari, I gotta say that.
Yeah,
with our brother
that
Reed,
was a
Reed
really important part in our development and the precursor to what we are doing now, because Luca, as a baby, even from the womb, was in every kind of rehearsal there was, right? And he basically came out singing. I mean, he doesn't perhaps remember, but at 2 years old, Zari put out its first CD, and he was singing every song. He could sing every song along with it.
Perfectly, top part. With no mistakes.
And I have no memory of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the natural relationship of singing in a family just happens with us. And it happened, of course, at celebrations and at events, little community events, mostly family events, friends events, and then there were more and more opportunities for us to start performing as a family, and more interest in us performing as a family. And And the kids, we have another one, a third one, who also sings.
Third one. A second kid.
Not a third one.
A second kid. Sorry.
He's a great singer too. That's what she wants to say. And by the way, in this COVID times and in this virus era, Wednesdays we do a workshop, and Luca really helps us out. So it's so much more easier for three to sing and other people from the other line to listen to three people to actually hear how the music is. I don't think anybody else is doing that, probably because of maybe, they're not as blessed as we are, that, there's four of us in a family and four of us can sing. I think that we're blessed in some way, in a good way. And we're very happy about that it kind of, gradually happened naturally. That kids, they just opened their mouth and sang. I was a little bit surprised because my teachers' kids in Georgia can't sing. They don't have, some of them have no hearing at all, and I was worried about that. But we got lucky. So there.
So that's great. I wonder, Luca, if you can tell us, you say you don't remember being able to sing the Zari album when you were 2 years old, but what do you remember about maybe performing, but also just singing with your family, and how you've grown into the role of a singer?
Well, I do remember the first actual kind of formal lesson I got from my mom to sing a piece called Maspin Zelsa. She taught me the top part, and before then I hadn't really gotten any kind of like formal training. I was just around listening to the songs, and not that I remember this. I've seen videos. This is how I know I can confirm this. But I would sing the songs, and I would sing them pretty accurately. And there was that kind of dynamic of learning the song very casually in everyday life, and then kind of going in a little bit more in depth and polishing it up later on, so that we could sing it, well, and we could perform it in front of friends and family and other people. I don't remember much at all.
But as a singer, what was influential for you as a singer?
So, these guys. When they were putting out, CDs. They were part of choirs. They were performing very often, and if you're the son of these people, it's hard not to notice that, hard not to want to be part of that, especially when that's kind of been pushed on you when you're a little kid, not in a bad way or not in an intrusive way, but in a way that you welcome it.
So Andrea and Bachi, what can you tell us about your, the projects that you have, like, for example, Music Camp and the things that you guys are doing now in the COVID world?
Yeah, so these are mostly my projects. We are running singing workshops, and you can go to musiccampto.com/Georgian Singing Online and find out about it. And it started actually because we usually run workshops, 6-week workshops, for people in the community. Mostly a lot of singers will come out, folk singers as well as some composers. We have an interesting group, and always quite an able group that comes out to these workshops. Never more than 10 or 12 people. Anyways, we were in mid-workshop. We had only 2 sessions, and the social restrictions came down. And we waited for a bit thinking, well, what will happen? And then, we decided after about 3 weeks and conversing with our participants that we would try to move it online through Zoom, using Luca as the third person, because then with the 3 of us, we could represent all the voices of this music. And it worked out quite well.
Yes, it's been great.
It was quite surprising at how happy our participants were on the other side of the Zoom of the Zoom screen. They were all sort of like a little out of sync, and they were just floating faces for the most part, but then they were really happy after we taught them songs and they were singing along with us. And so we've just kept it going, and we run them now not as 6-week workshops but as one-offs, so people can join anytime. And now we have people joining from the Netherlands. It's 1 o'clock in the morning there. For a few people, we've had a few people from Europe, I mean England, I guess, and a lot of people from the States as well. Not a lot of people, but some. You know, it's kept us going, and it's been a really a blessing to be doing it with our son, because we have not sung so much with him on a weekly basis. So we're doing that, and also I've also translated some body percussion workshops online as well. So it's mostly it's not sophisticated body percussion. It's mostly arranging with voice and body percussion stuff. So it's fun, and Luca has been helping me out with that as well.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to get to some more music, but thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully everybody will look online and find some Georgian singing workshops or music camp, and that's a great things to hear about, and great to see that you're, turning this into something that is really reaching out beyond borders.
Well, thank you guys
Yeah,
very much
thank you.
for having
Yeah.
us. It's a pleasure. It always is when someone's interested, just a little bit, what this family is all about, and what kind of hearts we have. I think that's important. We got to share that with others. I think these days and forever. So thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
And thank you for
doing
this
it.
series of
Yeah.
music. You're exposing so many people to such wonderful
Yeah.
music.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So here is the end of the program coming up from Ori Shalva.
We will continue with a song from the Western Mountains, a place that's snow-ridden and you can't access for many months of the year. This represents an archaic song and an epic song, and features this beautiful instrument called the changi.
Voi dili vo di sugami voi di da blia vo da li vai vo voi dili vo da rai dili vo voi dili vo di sugami voi Voi dili vo da rai 街でを暮らしおいでるをだらいでるをおいでるをでもちょわるをかがふりをだしでを暮らしおいでるをだらいでるをおいでるをですがみをいでだねやぼだれりわいをおいでるをだらいでるを
Alright, nice. And last song would be Many Ears, called Maraval Jamir. Many ears to your life, to your health, to your country, and to everything that we all love. Many ears.
Mravala Jamiero, Mravala Jamiero.
Ori Shalva.
And thank you so much to Ori Shalva. We want to let everybody know that Andrea of Ori Shalva is running a virtual summer camp for kids age 8 to 14 from August 17th to August 22nd. So that's their virtual summer camp for kids 8 to 14 years old. 3 sessions per day, 9:30 to 3:30 p.m., all via Zoom. It's $275 for all 3 sessions for the week, or you can sign up for individual workshops. Their morning workshop, or the first one in the day, is the body percussion workshop from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Class size is unlimited, so anybody can join up. That's $60 for the week of programming. The second one is exploring songs from 11 to 12 p.m. with a class size limit of 10, and it's $85 for that week of workshops from 11 to 12. And finally, from 1:30 to 3:45 p.m. is the composition and songwriting workshop, class size limit of 8, and that's $175 for the week. You can get more info and registration at www.musiccamp, that's MUSICAMP, so we don't double that C, just one C in Musiccamp, TO, so MUSICAMPTO.com and /virtual summer camp.
And we'll share this link on our Facebook as well for those of you who might be interested. And I'm sure it's absolutely wonderful, phenomenal.
Yes. And finally, we have another performance by our co-host Paromita. This performance is a solo performance done by her in the Iranian Gilaki folk dance style from the northern province of Gilan. This region is well known for rice crops, and the dance features many movements mimicking rice picking and rice harvesting activities. So here's Paromita with her Gilaki dance.
کوشی دل دبسی کردا جانی رنا بنی تی دستانی رنا آی روسیای رنا جان برگر بیای رنا رنا کشی رنا سیاش کشی رنا رنا کشی رنا سیاش کشی بوشویم سال نومی تی بوشورا خوش در بومی تی لنگان خوش در بومی آی روسیای رنا جان برگر بیای رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا رنو سال چاییه رنو کی برمداویه رنو جان من بگو مرگ من بگو رنو رنای گله رنو گلستون گله رنو رنای گله رنو گلستون گله شوی تا لنگرود خیاط بده هیچ کی نگود خیاط و چه ترکوت بدود آی روسیای رنا جان برگر بیای رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا آخر مرا کشی دل دبسی کردا جانی رنا بنی تی دستانی رنا آی روسیای رنا جان برگر بیای رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا رنای میشه رنا سیاش میشه رنا
Thank you so much, Paromita. So, what can you tell us about this dance? It's definitely different than a lot of the ones that we've seen you perform.
Well, this is a folk dance style from the north of Iran, and this was actually compositionally my first time composing or choreographing in this style. I did do one dance before in this style, choreographed by my teacher, whom I've had the honor of learning under because thanks to an Ontario Arts Council grant. So this was really my first time venturing out to create dance in this style. And I also would like to mention that this dress style is very, very distinct, and it's a very distinct dress from this region of Iran. And yeah, it was just a good deal of fun to do it.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody who has donated to our GoFundMe. You still can. It'll be up for a few more days. So you can always go to that link and make a donation to help support our artists. We hope you've enjoyed today's edition of Global Rhythms World Music and Dance digital concert. We've streamed it live from the living rooms of our artists and here, Studio Topaz, in our living room. Please support our artists by visiting the GoFundMe page and making a donation. And in the coming weeks, we will continue to feature artists from across the world performing traditional and innovative artistic material. Please stay updated by following our Facebook page. Please follow the Ensemble Topaz Facebook page, like the page, subscribe on YouTube and follow on YouTube. Get the lovely little notifications whenever we post a new video. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Ensemble Topaz, where you'll also find links to the wonderful artists who have joined us today. We thank you for joining us in our journey and hope that you will join us in the future.